Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we have Premier League Game Week 17 predictions. Now, quickly, this is being filmed in the dark because I tried waking my girlfriend up but she didn't want to get up, so I couldn't film this in the dark. And also this is going out late because of the same reason. It's now 4:30 and this was meant to go out at 5:30, but it's not. I've only just started filming it, so I need to edit it and export it and all that malarkey. Don't know when it's going out, but it's going out 2 days before the game week starts. Also, before we get into it, make sure that you do subscribe down below. It means a lot. Over Christmas we did lose 2 subscribers, which isn't the festive spirit, but if you're new then subscribe and smash a like on the video because it helps me out get more views and subscribers. We're on the road to 850 subscribers. Without further ado, let's get right into the video with the first game being Everton versus West Ham. Now, Everton don't actually play in the last game week. They have their game postponed against Manchester City, but they're playing West Ham, who have a tough game against Southampton. I'm going to say before I give any score predictions, I'm going based off of my predictions in the last video, because no game apart from Palace versus Leicester has been played. So, and that's like 75 minutes. So I'm going to go based off of the results for the last game week that I gave. And Everton are not playing. West Ham, I think they will draw 3-3, so a bit of a contrast. Now, I do favour Everton to win this. I've favoured them before, but I favour them even more now because they have a break. And I think they're going to win this game 2-1. Now, moving on to Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Man United, I think they will beat Wolves 3-1, and Aston Villa play Chelsea away from home in a tough game, and I think they will actually get all 3 points at Stamford Bridge. Going to Manchester United though, I think we'll put another great fight. I think there's going to be 5 goals in this game, but I think Aston Villa are just going to lose out because I'm going 3-2 to the Red Devils. Moving on to Tottenham versus Leeds. Now, Spurs choking another lead in the last minute against Wolves, drawing 1-1 on a bit of a downward spiral against Leeds, who have conceded the most goals in the Premier League. Now, I do expect Jose Mourinho's side to fully get back on track. I'm going with a 3-1 win for Spurs, of course conceding to Patrick Bamford. Now, Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. As I'm filming this, Palace are beating Leicester 1-0, but a rotated Leicester team, and you're facing a much easier side in Sheffield United, who have 2 points out of the opening 16 games that they played, and I think this is an easy win for Crystal Palace. Maybe not on the scoreline I'm giving, but certainly in terms of the way the game's going to be played, I think Crystal Palace will do a classic 1-0 win at Selhurst Park. Moving on to Brighton versus Wolves. Now, a tough game for Brighton in the last game week, facing Arsenal. I think they would have beaten Arsenal 2-1 because Neil Maupay loves doing that. Taking on Wolves, who got the 1-0 draw against Spurs, and I think Wolves are going to get another 1-0 draw after their loss against Manchester United. I'll predict this game at the Amex to be 1-0. Moving on to Big Sam's West Bromwich Albion taking on Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Now, Big Sam managed to get a 1-0 draw out of Liverpool. How they've done that, I don't know. Liverpool 1 shot on target out of 10 attempts, I think. Piss poor from the champions. But credit where credit's due for West Brom going and getting a point at Anfield. Taking on Arsenal, who did beat Chelsea in their last game, but I think they will lose to Brighton in the last game week. But this game, I think, is just a classical game where Arsenal do tend to struggle, but I do think that somehow Mikel Arteta's team are going to pick up all 3 points, winning 2-0. Moving on to a 6-pointer at the bottom of the table, Burnley taking on Fulham. Now, Fulham, well, my mate Philip, who's a Fulham fan, has been keeping a close eye on Burnley, and this is going to be a game close to his heart. And unfortunately, I think Burnley will have enough to beat the team from London, winning 2-1. Now, Newcastle taking on Leicester. Newcastle, who are just shit really. They have a couple of good results and then they're shit again, and then they have a couple of good results and then they're shit again. At the moment, they're in their shit period. They've just played Liverpool. I think they will lose that game 3-1. Taking on a Leicester team who will look to bounce back against Crystal Palace after losing 1-0. That is based off 80 minutes. Do not give me a shot in the foot if I'm wrong. But I think Leicester will bounce back and win 2-0. Now, moving on to Chelsea versus Manchester City. Now, I don't know if this game is going to be played because of City's COVID outbreak within their team, but on the basis it is played, they're playing the Chelsea team, who do tend to struggle against the top 8 or a Big 6 team like they did against Arsenal and the rest of the season, apart from the game against West Ham. You're playing against City, who are not as good away from home as they used to be, but they are unbeaten in their last 10 away from home, I think. No, that's a load of rubbish because they lost to Spurs. Either way, I think this game is going to be a high end in terms of technicality on the pitch, but the goals, I think it's going to be a 0-0 draw. And now the last game this week is a Liverpool derby. It is Liverpool B taking on Liverpool A. Southampton versus Liverpool. I think it's going to be a fantastic game of football. Ultimately, I think the champions will have enough to beat Southampton, just like Manchester United did earlier in the year, and Manchester City. Big teams going to St Mary's. They haven't won. Spurs, City, Manchester United, and now I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to walk away with all 3 points, winning 3-2. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. As I said earlier, problems when we're filming it during the daylight, so it is shorter. I'm going to attempt to get it out between 6 and half 6, so it's not too late. But yeah, as I said earlier, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment your predictions down below. I'm interested to see what you think, and the channel update is coming with all the new graphic and logo, and new videos next year are coming. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.